The land of Erythraea was ancient, a place where time itself seemed to bow before the weight of its history. Here humans lived in fragile harmony with dinosaurs, mythical beasts and gods who walked the earth like storms given flesh. The gods, mighty and immortal, ruled from the celestial peaks of Mount Celestara, while humans struggled to survive in a world dominated by beasts that dwarfed them in size and power. Among the humans was a young warrior named Orin, the son of a blacksmith. Known for his courage, he led his people in their endless fight to reclaim their lands from both creatures and the gods who demanded endless tribute. Orin's father had died when the gods unleashed a massive Spinosaurus upon their village as punishment for resisting their rule. Since then, Orin vowed to destroy the gods no matter the cost. Now, on the eve of war, Orin stood before the Heartforge, an ancient forge deep within the mountains, where it was said that the gods' weapons were once created. It was here that Orin sought the Blade of Eternis, a mythical weapon forged in dragonfire and capable of wounding even a god. The air shimmered with heat as Orin approached the glowing forge. His companion Lyria, a half-elf and healer with knowledge of the old ways, stood at his side, her face pale with worry. "Are you certain about this, Orin?" she asked, her voice trembling. "The gods will sense it the moment you touch the blade. They'll come for us. They already took everything from me, Lyria," Orin replied, his jaw clenched. "If I die, I'll die fighting." As he grasped the Blade of Eternis, the forge erupted in light, and a deep rumble shook the mountain. The blade, glowing with molten fire, felt alive in his hands, but the moment of triumph was short-lived. A deafening roar echoed through the cavern. Emerging from the shadows was Typharax, a colossal dragon tasked by the gods to guard the forge. Its scales gleamed like obsidian, and its eyes burned with divine fire. "Thief!" The dragon bellowed, its voice shaking the walls. "The Blade of Eternis belongs to the gods. You dare defy their will." Orin raised the blade, his heart pounding. "The gods are tyrants. If they want this blade, they'll have to pry it from my dead hands." Typharax unleashed a torrent of fire, but Orin dove aside, rolling to his feet and slashing at the dragon's massive leg. The blade struck true, cutting through scales that no mortal weapon could pierce. The dragon roared in pain, but its fury only grew. "Orin!" Lyria, chanting under her breath, raised her staff and summoned a shield of light around Orin as Typharax's claws raked the ground, sending shards of stone flying. She shouted, "We can't fight it head-on. We need to escape." "No," Orin growled, dodging another strike. "This is our chance to prove we can fight the gods and their beasts." With a mighty leap, he climbed onto Typharax's back, driving the Blade of Eternis between its massive wings. The dragon thrashed, slamming against the cavern walls in a desperate attempt to throw him off. Lyria screamed as the ground began to crack beneath her feet, the cavern collapsing from the chaos. Finally, with a final roar, Typharax collapsed, its lifeless body shaking the mountain. Orin staggered to the ground, bloodied but victorious. Lyria rushed to his side, her hands glowing as she healed his wounds. But before they could catch their breath, a voice boomed from the heavens. "You dare kill my guardian." A blinding light filled the cavern as Zepharion, the god of justice, descended, his golden armor gleaming like the sun. His arrival caused the mountain to tremble, and even the air seemed to bow to his presence. "You mortals grow bolder by the day," Zepharion said, his eyes narrowing on Orin. "But your defiance ends here." Orin raised the Blade of Eternis, his grip steady despite the gods' overwhelming power. "You gods have ruled long enough. Your time is over." The battle that followed was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Zepharion moved with the speed of a storm, his strikes shattering the earth and sending shockwaves across the valley. Orin, wielding the Blade of Eternis, managed to hold his ground, dodging and countering with a skill born of desperation and rage. Lyria, standing at a distance, used her magic to shield Orin and weaken Zepharion's divine energy. But the god was relentless, summoning bolts of lightning that illuminated the darkened sky. As the battle raged, Orin saw an opening. With a cry of defiance, he lunged at Zepharion, driving the Blade of Eternis into the god's chest. Zepharion staggered, his glowing eyes dimming as golden ichor spilled from the wound. "You are stronger than I thought," the god muttered, his voice filled with both pain and respect. "But killing me will not end this. The other gods will come for you." In the aftermath of their hard-fought battle, Lyria stood resolutely beside Orin, her fiery spirit matching his as she prepared for the challenges ahead. As they gazed towards the towering Mount Celestara, An unsettling tension lingered in the air, foreshadowing the conflict that awaited. Orin pulled the blade free, his chest heaving. "Let them come. We'll fight them all." Zepharion's body dissolved into light, leaving behind only a faint whisper. "Beware. The wrath of the Pantheon." As dawn broke over Erythraea, Orin and Lyria emerged from the ruined mountain. Word of their victory spread quickly, and for the first time in centuries, humanity dared to hope. But in the celestial peaks of Mount Celestara, the gods were watching, and they were not pleased. The war between mortals and gods had only just begun.